The Northwestern Railway is one of the most famous railways in the world, being hosting preserved steam and diesels, saved by the cruel hands of British Railways. These are tale from the Sudrian Island. From diesel engines to steam engine, the Fat Controller has them all. From high-speed express engine to slow but important goods train, the Fat Controller runs them all. Eventually, a derailment happens, sometimes devastating, but there are some heroic rescue attempts by these engines. These are the tales of the Sudrian Island. King's Crosses. Henry was one of the first engines on the Northwestern Railway. He, along with their engines like Thomas, Gordon, Edward, and James, saw the Northwestern Railway flood with passengers and new engines. He pulled many trains, like passenger trains and goods trains, his favorite being the Flying Kipper. Due to the Breaching Act, 1950 through 1950 to 1961, this meant British Railways were getting rid of their old lines that were not profitable to them. One Thomas's branch line was on this list. The Fat Controller wanted to save Thomas's branch line. Therefore, he brought famous engines. He started by bringing a King's class named King Henry I. He was a King's class from the Great Western Railway. He rolled over the points after bringing an express train from British Railways. Another way Sir Tom decided to use his money is bringing in a new engine and a visiting engine. He bought a new diesel called Daisy, a diesel rail car built by British Railways. And Stepney, a Brighton South Coast Terrier. Stepney was helped to take the branch line train. When Thomas did not take this news lightly. He was starting to overwork himself to keep his branch line safe, as well with Toby and Percy. The Fat Controller's plan was to bring a famous engine onto the railway and help him bring him to stations that connect to the branch lines. In fact, most of the stops were stations that got onto the branch line. Passengers would be dropped off at the station they wanted. They would get on the branch line trains, and there would be tours being pulled around every single station. King Henry I was waiting for the points to change. He was waiting for a slow commuter train, which was being pulled by Henry. Soon Henry came into the yard, rolling happily. "Well, that's an interesting engine," he said. "It looks like that Jubilee that was painted green." "It does kind of look like that," said his driver. Henry rolled in with this commuter train. Then he soon King Henry I was ready to go. He quickly rolled out of the station, going as fast as he could. Later that night, King Henry I came back to the sheds where James and Gordon were talking with, and where Derek was being repaired after his blowout with Boko when they were trying the tankers. Henry backed down into the turntable, exhausted. He finally got to meet the engine he passed earlier, being King Henry I. "Oh, Henry, hello there," said Gordon slyly. "I'm assuming you met our King Henry I, haven't you?" "Yes, indeed, I saw him while I was pulling that commuter train." "I say, Henry, what was that one time in 1920? Oh, don't you mention that. Once an engine attached to a train," "You finish that sentence, I'll come over there and drag you out of that shed," "was afraid of a few drops of rain. He went into a tunnel, came out with a funnel, and would not come out again." That's not even how the song goes. "He screeched with his funnel." Whatever. "Oh ho ho, that was hilarious. Tell that again." Oh my god. "Oh, Henry, you say the Flying Kipper is a priority train, right?" "Oh god. Well, what happened in 1922? Don't you dare mention that." "You knew what happened, Gordon. A man died that day." "Oh yeah, the time you thought you were able to fly, but then ran into the back of a goods train." That was good times. Good times? Gordon, a man died that day." Huh. Interesting. There was an odd moment of silence while Gordon chuckled to himself. "Oh, forget it. Why do I even try to convince you? It was not my fault. And it's what? It was the engines who left the grain behind's fault?" "Yes, exactly." Keep saying. Keep dreaming, Henry. Whatever. I have the kip at the pool in a couple hours. In fact, I have a flying kip at the pool in a couple hours. A priority train. A train that's better than your express by a long shot. What you? Oh, Henry, you scoundrel. Would you two kindly shut up here? Screamed 199. I would love some sleep. Yes, it's hard to focus on Derek's motor while you four argue, said the workman fixing Derek's motor. The next morning, King Henry and Henry was still asleep after pulling the kipper. He had to pull a goods train around 12, and the next train for King Henry's excursion was also at 12. Because of their similar names, it wasn't no surprise that they were mixed up, as they were painted in the same green. The next morning, Henry woke up to steam flying everywhere. Oh, hello. Good morning, Henry, or afternoon, I should say. Shut up. Oh, what's with the... You know what the harsh manner is. Your Majesty. Oh, I see. You know we were only messing with you. Just whatever. Soon Henry went to go look his commuter train. Henry was waiting for the local passenger train. Soon Nathan blew his whistle. Afternoon, Henry. I heard you had a lovely run on the kipper. Indeed. Well, let's hope you can have a nice run on your commuter. I hope so too. Soon Henry's was coupled up to some coaches. They weren't the right coaches, but they were King Henry's the first coaches. These were the coaches used on the excursion instead of his regular commuter train. Henry's train departed first, as it was a commuter and had priority over the excursion. This train left at 12:30. Soon the guard blew his whistle for Henry to move, and so he did, slowly but surely puffed out of the station. Oh, these coaches feel heavy for some reason, Henry complained. Oh, must be stiff this morning. And at 1 o'clock, King Henry the First left his excursion. He backed onto the coaches. Wait a minute, he looked behind and realized these are the wrong coaches. This must be from Henry's commuter train. Oh, well, soon word spread around the station. Alright, King Henry, you'll stop at Henry's commuter runs. In fact, you know what? You know what? I'll have someone else do it. King Henry, you need to go catch Henry. Is Topham Hatt phoned? What engines are available? Oh, that diesel? Oh, great. I guess we have no other choice. Soon King Henry roared off fast to go catch Henry, while 199 slowly oiled up to take the passenger. Henry was making good time while he found a fender along the line. Soon, it didn't take long for King Henry to catch up. He is diverted to be behind Henry's train, so he wouldn't have to gain up much speed. but then was switched behind. Henry's guard was notified and passed the word to his driver, who slammed on Henry's brake. "Wait, why are we stopping?" he said. "I didn't miss a station, did I?" "No, we have the wrong coaches. Train full of angry rail enthusiasts and just a train full of angry people," said his driver. Soon Henry raced along the line. He saw Henry's train and stopped. He coupled up to it and took Henry back. King Henry I and Henry took the train to the stops. As they needed to do half of this stations, as Henry's train ran through the branch line station. The branch line stations. Soon King Henry and Henry were taken off their trains. Henry gave King Henry I an earload. "Well, I really am sorry. I think there must have been a mix-up in communication." "What do you mean, sir?" "I mean, there was wrong. They switched your names around." "Oh, great. Gordon would never let me hear the end about this." "I heard what King Henry did tell me what Gordon said. He used to be in your good string for a while, for a few weeks." "Oh, great. What about James?" "Well, I was gonna punish him, so I figured I would send him to Edward's branch line to help out with Boko and Derek." "Oh, I bet he's having fun with that." "We can say both kings have crossed." "Sir, with all due respect, if that was supposed to be a pun about King's Cross Station and King Henry being both of our names, that was probably a terrible joke." "Well, I at least tried." "Well, Henry, you'll be put on the express for a while, and King George here will have to go back to the Bluebell Railway." "What? You were at the Bluebell Railway?" "Yeah, me and Stepney traveled down here." "Oh, great. As well with an 060 Fowler 4F. What's his name? I think his name was Fowler. I cannot remember these days. With so much modernization happening." "That's right. You will be seeing much more of it." And when a sly 199 or a passenger train went by them, "Don't worry about it. That won't be another few years for diesels to start coming over. And I'll be damned if they take over this railway. It will be over my cold body."